They celebrated Tom Landry Day in Dallas with a parade that said farewell to one of football's kings. But the trumpets that sounded so triumphant now blew taps only a few short months before. The last 2 seasons were grisly ones for Landry, who saw the once great Dallas dynasty collapse. A storied history became a sad soap opera. And on February 25th, 1989, the team was sold and Landry was fired.
Y'all, you look like you're in pretty good shape. You're dressed for the occasion.
You look pretty sharp, too.
The funeral?
Doesn't show his emotions very much, but you know that he has those emotions. And I guess the greatest emotion was his last day with the Cowboys when he went in to talk to the team. And I'd do it.
You don't know how many fouls you have, boy, when you try to clean them out.
29 years in cardboard boxes. Boxes filled with X's and O's that once sprung to life in his hands, becoming plays and people, and yielding a legacy of victory unsurpassed in the NFL. Landry was both a teacher and oracle, part Einstein, part Nostradamus. A man who could predict events before they happened.
This particular defense that the Vikings have is one of aggressiveness. Therefore, you got to be careful bootlegging because he'll pick you up.
If there are geniuses in coaching, he would have to be recognized as one of them because he was very innovative. The multiple offensive sets, the motions, the shifting, he pioneered in that area.
Brilliant tactician, a coach that handled the game itself extremely well with his play calling and his direction. In a sense, ahead of his time for many years, offensively and defensively. One of those coaches that knew every position and could really coach every position.
Tom Landry was one of the few coaches who coached both sides of the ball. Tom Landry was a great innovator. He was one of the architects of the 4-3 defense. He came up with the multiple offense. Tom Landry's contribution in the history of football will go down along with Paul Brown and George Halas and Clark Shaughnessy as one of the great contributors.
Under Landry's glow, the Cowboys lit up scoreboards and generated an NFL record 20 straight winning seasons. The Cowboys were so popular they became known as America's team, and Tom Landry became as recognizable as Walter Cronkite. Thomas Wade Landry achieved all a football coach could possibly achieve. He had eclipsed a sport, and it seemed he would roam the Dallas Cowboys sidelines forever.
I wish I anticipate what's going to happen now with nothing to do. When I get up in the morning, I don't know what I'm going to do. Because that's the first time in many, many years that I got up that I didn't have really something to do at that time.
Tom was dignity, poise, character. We're in a highly volatile profession, and we need examples of the right way to do it. Tom always did it the right way.
I think he's brought a dignity and a nobility to the coaching profession. The kind of person I think that football can look on and say that this is a great example of what we produce.
Here's a guy who lived his life according to, the simple rule of God, family, and job.
He didn't come in and talk to you or give you a Bible verse or quote scripture or do any of those type things. It was just the way he lived his life, and to see a person that was at peace with himself. Regardless of what the situation was, you could be on the top of a mountain with a Super Bowl win, or you could be in a valley of, having a long losing streak, but he seemed to take things in stride.